Hello, hello, hello. My name is Caroline Williams, and I live in Epping, New Hampshire, which is a small town outside of Boston, about an hour and a half north of Boston. Oh, that's my fur child, Miss Charlotte. That's one of them. I don't know where her brother is, but her brother is Mr. Collins. Go figure. I am in the MLIS program because I have worked in a library before and I found it fulfilling, but I really want to be an archivist. And so I'm on the archivist track here at the University of South Carolina. So currently, I work for the Massachusetts Department of Transportation as a policy analyst and writer. Not glamorous, but it gets the job done. It pays the bills. And I do like writing, so I don't mind doing it. The policies that we write fill in the gaps of things that the law does not cover. So it's a lot of extensive legal research, a lot of attention to detail, a lot of reading and writing, which is great. I chose this course because in addition to being a writer for my day job, I also write as a hobby. I don't want to brag, but I've ghostwritten 9 novels for small publishers. I've enjoyed that process and I'm in the process of writing something of my own. So I thought storytelling sounds like a course that I could benefit from personally and professionally. My family is scattered at the moment. I live in New Hampshire with my boyfriend. This is my office in his lovely house. And my parents live in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where I'm originally from. My brother, middle child, lives in Tennessee. My sister, youngest, lives in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. Both of them are married. And the rest of my family is scattered elsewhere, Colorado, California. So they're physically not here, but we have an extensive family group chat, and the group chat is quite active, enough that I've had to mute it a few times. You've already met Miss Charlotte. I've told you about Mr. Collins. Those are our 2 cats. We love them very much. For any hobbies, I've talked about writing already. I write personally. I am what else do I do? I am getting into playing video games. I'm not very good at them. Um, and I do like to bake. I like to bake a lot. I was inspired by Great British Bake Off when I first started watching that in like 2015. And then an interesting fact about me is that I'm from Florida, but every time I introduce myself to someone up here, up north in New England, and I tell them I'm from Florida, they look at me like, why would you move here? I love the history of New England. I wanted 4 seasons. I did not want to be in 100-degree weather for over 60 days at a time. That's why I like it here. Another fun fact. People generally over the age of 40 will sing Sweet Caroline to me when they first meet me because number one is my name. Number two, that's what you sing at the end of I think it's the 8th inning or at the top, sometime during some inning at a Red Sox game at Fenway Park. You swing Sweet Caroline, and it's a very big Boston thing. Ta-da. I am trying to think of a great story. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story. The story of when I was detained at the train station in Paris. So I was a governess slash teacher for a family friend of a friend in London the summer of 2015. And my friend was studying abroad in Austria at the same time. And we thought, hey, let's meet up in France together. We can both take the train to Paris and have a long weekend of it. So we met up. We had a great time. We saw the sights, the Louvre, took the elevator up to the Eiffel Tower because I was not climbing those stairs. Had a lovely time. We ate at a cafe that Ernest Hemingway used to love to frequent. And it was time to go, and we had to go our separate ways. She had to go back to Austria. I had to go back to London. And at the gate, where they check your passport and everything, the woman asked, she's a very small woman, but very intimidating, kind of like Chihuahua energy. Very slicked back bun, hair looked very severe. Most British people do. She said, "What's your purpose here?" And I said, "Oh," without thinking, I said, "Oh, I'm an au pair," because I didn't know how to describe the situation that I was in because I was living with this host family. I was teaching their children, I was taking care of them, but I didn't want to say, oh, I'm a teacher, because I thought that would imply living in England illegally and earning money illegally. I was not earning money. I just got free room and board and to stay in England for a summer. Apparently, there is paperwork required of an au pair. I did not know that. So she looked up at me and she said, well, you don't have the right paperwork. And I was just like, oh, well, I made it worse. I said, oh, well, it's really kind of an informal thing that I've worked out between our families. And I saw her like I made it worse. And so she took me aside out of line. I've never been detained before. I know I recognize that I have that privilege. And so she took me into this room that was all white, sterile. She just like moved a panel on the wall. It looked completely secret. There was a recorder on the middle of the table. There was a camera. She was filming me. She took my phone. She was going through my messages. And she sat at the other end of the table. I was about to cry. I didn't, thankfully. And she said, let's find out what you're really doing in the UK. She called my host family. They confirmed that I was there as a governess slash au pair. And they finally let me go. I missed my train, so I got on the later one. But I did finally make it to London in one piece. That's my fun story. I look forward to working with you all this semester.